share about something that makes my heart beat faster, gives me butterflies in my stomach, and puts sparkles in my eyes?
Of course.
Then if that's the case, be ready to also hear about something that broke my heart into pieces, shattered my self-esteem, and made me bawl my eyes out. Basketball. I know, it might seem petty for someone to be emotional over a mere sport, but you won't understand it unless you have truly been in love. I fell in love with basketball because it gave meaning to ball is life. And today I'll be sharing with you 3 important lessons on how basketball made that statement true to my life. Lesson number 1, be the first to believe in yourself. Before I tried out for our university's women's basketball team, I told my family and my friends first about my plans of joining. I didn't expect, however, to receive remarks such as, "How about your grades? You know you have to maintain a certain average for your scholarship. Are you sure? Aren't you too small to play basketball? Can you keep up with the players who've been playing since grade school? But you might be too slow or too weak to keep up with the rigorous training," etc. I felt hurt getting those from people whom I thought would support me. But after several weeks of contemplation, I finally mustered up the courage to step into the court and try out. I believed in what I was capable of and what I could do. And if I doubted myself first before they did, I would have never started. I would have stayed in the bleachers my entire college life, only watching other people do what I have always wanted to do. How about you? Are there things in your life that you have always wanted to do but never did because you were the first to doubt your own capabilities?
Yes.
Remember, a lifetime is short. If you don't have a go, you'll never know. That leap of faith leads me to lesson number 2. Embrace the uncomfortable. It feels so good to be inside your comfort zone, right? But the problem is you plateau. You stay the same all throughout. You meet the same people, experience the same things, use the same skills. In short, you never improve. I learned that the hard way. You see, in our team, most of the players have been playing and competing since they were in grade school. I, on the other hand, was just formally starting to learn the sport that time. So I couldn't help but compare their years of experience to mine. So I thought that I should be working harder than everyone else did. My principle is simple. Always do 120%. If the coach asks us to do 15 push-ups, I'll do 18. If the coach asks us to do 10 rounds around the oval, I'll do 12. Our training schedule was THS, and so in the MWF, I did my personal workout and training. The coach never asked me to do that. I just knew I needed to do it. It doesn't have to be exact numbers, but the gist is always do that extra. Do it consistently. Why? Because if you dwell on your 100%, you would never break your limit. You will only break it if you get past that uncomfortable feeling. And if you don't, you'll always stay within the confines of your 100%. So it's your choice now. How much you want to achieve a goal should be proportional to how much you're willing to give up for it. The third and last lesson is be willing to be the last. Often we feel like being the last is bad, but no. Being a basketball player, it was a constant struggle for me to be given playing time. I remember when I was a rookie, I was an absolute bench warmer. There was even a game where the coach only let me play in the last 20 seconds of the game.
Wow.
Out of the 14 minutes in the game, I was only let to play in the last 20 seconds. Imagine how shattered I was after that. But you know, that game totally changed my mindset. Instead of thinking how my efforts were not recognized by the coach or how I gave my best but still it wasn't enough, I thought and I internalized that I was the underdog in that team. I was the last placer, the loser, the small fry. And realizing that I was the worst and the last in the team made me to also want to be the last person in the court after training. When everyone has gone home, I was still in the court practicing my shooting, my dribbling, and moves. And I've extended that principle to other aspects of my life, such as my studies, which is why the school guards know me very well because I was usually the last student to go home. How about you? Are there aspects in your life where you feel like you are the worst and the last?
Yes.
Don't degrade yourself. Instead, use that as a motivation to work so hard you are always the last in the room. Who knows? One day you might become the first. There are still a lot of things I would like to say about this beloved sport of mine, but I'm afraid it would eat up too much of your time. Before I end, I would like to take this opportunity to just thank God for giving basketball to us. Through this sport, I've met some of the most passionate and driven people that I know, whom I also learned a lot from. I've traveled to many places teaching the sport for free, and I've inspired a lot of young girls from poor communities to try the sport, and maybe someday it would help get them out of the poverty cycle. I fell in love with it. It broke me and beat me up, but it also taught me how to move on and to never give up until the last buzzer sounds. That's why I guess ball is indeed life. It is.